Chart van der Walt and Mike Burrows had also endured a torrid season thus far, and the first stage was proving to be more of the same. Water ingestion due to the same cause as Feckin cost them 40 minutes on the stage and 14 minutes in penalties, putting them stone last. Stage 2 was the final gravel stage of day one before the crews tackled two tar stages at the Killarney race circuit. Having dropped 37 seconds to Gemmell in the long first stage, which included an overshoot on a corner, Hugh knew he had to pull out all the stops in an attempt to close the gap. The Golf crew would take back 7 seconds on the 16.3 kilometre stage, but their time of 8 minutes 32 seconds was only good enough for third fastest stage time and fifth overall. Chasing his 9th title, Damso was also after Sarel van der Merwe's record number of wins, which stands at 66. Damso had 61 wins going into the event and was closing in fast. Arguably, the performance of the season had come from the Toyota Motorsport technical crew. Having built the new Runx in the off-season, it arrived at the first event with woeful handling. Damso had a fight on his hands, just keeping it on the road, and looked a worried man. But by the second event, it was much improved. Constant further development has seen it evolve into arguably the best car in the field. Certainly it is the most successful, taking 3 wins and the championship lead. Well done to the techies. Having dropped 24 seconds to Gemmell in the first stage, Damso was stung into action and adopted maximum attack mode for stage 2. Driving at the absolute limit, he won the stage by 2 seconds, but more importantly took back 10 seconds on leader Gemmell. He was now just 12 seconds off the lead. Habich was at his spectacular best. He had lost chunks of time in stage 1 when his car would not reach maximum speed and was now pushing as hard as he dared. Going into the event, just 4 points behind Damso and Paisley, Lawrence and Vermeulen knew that this was the best chance they had ever had, and may ever have, to take the overall title. Class titles are nice to have, and both have already secured a few, but it's the overall one that counts. A mix of speed and consistency saw the pair right in the thick of the championship hunt, but if they wanted to take the crown, they knew that now was the time to stand up and be counted as the fight intensified towards the end of the season. They did not have a very good first stage, losing almost a minute to win a Gemmell. It put them back in 7th overall, but more importantly was the fact that they lost 33 seconds to championship rivals Damso and Paisley. Barring misfortune to Damso, a superhuman effort would be required to close such a large gap. Was it all over barely before it had started? Despite his best efforts, the stage would once again cost Lawrence time. He could only post the 7th fastest time yet again and lost another 13 seconds to stage winner Damso. He could offer no explanation for his sluggish times, but felt it could only be him to blame.
Johnny, 2 stages down, you tied for the lead with Skalkberger. Obviously had a good run the first.
Yeah, the first one we went well. It was a long one, 42 Ks. Then the second one we had a slight problem, but no, it's tight now. And Fernando is third by 3 seconds only, so it's close.
You said a blistering pace on that first stage. What was it? Was it just the stage suit your driving, the car? What was it that made you so quick?
No, that was the longest one of the event. It's like 20% of the rally, so we thought we better try and do something there in that one. And it worked.
So 2 stages down, and we've got a great battle at the head of the field and 3 cars that we don't usually see at the front of the field.
I think it's probably the nicest top 5 we've had in this whole year. 30 seconds separating 5 guys and 2 seconds the first 3. And the nice thing, as you said, is the 4-wheel drives leading 1, 2, 3. I think it's set up for a hell of a day tomorrow.
Skalk, 2 stages down, joint leader. You came out the blocks firing today.
Yeah, and it's going well so far. And I think this condition suits the car as well. And the car is going reasonably quite well today. I'm very happy with it.
We've heard you've had a few niggling little problems, wheel bearing and something with your anti-lag. I presume it's going to go even better now.
Well, we changed the anti-lag situation because that's stupidity on my side. But anyhow, I've learned now. But yeah, hopefully it'll go better tomorrow.
Right. You're renowned for not quite liking the night stages. We've got one coming up now. You still think, how do you rate your chances of being in the lead tomorrow morning?
Preferably not.
A lot of guys are already talking tactics again, not wanting to be first in the road for tomorrow. So the 2 stages now, maybe some lateness and that going to come into play again.
You know, when things are this tight, I'd be surprised if it's going to have a role to play at all, because with 5 guys there, all within 30 seconds, why would you want to give away 10 seconds to any of your rivals? And I don't know who's going to start doing it. I'd be surprised if it happens, but I think it's set up for a hell of a nice day tomorrow. It's also going to be, the tarmac stages tonight is going to be interesting, because the 4-wheel drives have certainly been a class act today, but I don't know what they might drop a few seconds tonight, and there's, you know, tight Mickey Mouse through the pit side things, and the A8s and A7 cars might just be a bit quicker. But I think we've got the makings of a hell of a rally tomorrow.
The Killarney stage attracted a huge number of paying fans to watch the action. It took the format of a super special stage with 2 cars pitted against each other in a head-to-head format, all of it on tar. We went in car with Berger, who was up against Rueda. The route wound its way around the track and through the pit area and access roads, giving crews a mix of high speed and slow point and squirt type driving. This type of stage does not suit the large, heavy and somewhat cumbersome 4-wheel drive cars, but in recent events the drivers of these cars have got to grips with them in these tight stages and quite often set surprisingly fast times. Won this duel over Berger by 4 seconds. After the second running of the stage in the dark, the Spaniard would lead the event overall by 5 seconds from Gemmell. Berger was a further 6 seconds back in third, having lost 11 seconds to Rueda over the 2 stages. Next up were Lourens and Habich. Lourens traditionally does well in this type of stage, his smooth driving style ensuring that he maintains momentum in the tight bits. We drive with him through the pits on his way to the second fastest stage time. Meanwhile, Habich was on the rev limiter as he flashed past the camera. Both drivers were pushing to the limit, with Lourens even using the grass. And Habich leaned on the tyres as he overdid it a little bit. It cost him minimal time, but he finished 2 seconds slower than Lourens. Damso's circuit racing experience also helps him in these stages. He comprehensively beat Kuhn in this stage, but Kuhn had the satisfaction of turning the tables on him in the second running of the test, although they were given identical stage times in the timesheets. Damso also took the overall stage win, clipping Lourens into second place by just 1 second. JP Damso also enjoys these stages and has a good track record in them. In the second running, he showed everyone the way home, clipping his father, Kuhn and Lourens by a second. After 66 kilometers of competitive stages, 45 cars out of the original 53 starters would start day 2. After 4 stages on day 1, Group N4 cars dominated the head of the standings for the first time. It was also the first time in many years that 3 privateers headed the log. Habich and Lourens were in an uncharacteristic 6th and 7th overnight, with Damso Jr. a strong 8th. Kukamu was the surprise in 9th, ahead of Ryan.
We had 4 stages yesterday, 6 to go today. And so those 4 stages, just a minute covering the first 8 cars, perhaps a little closer than we expected.
Tonight was probably Fernando Rueda. He's leading by 5 seconds, but everything very, very tight behind him. And after the reports of the first stage, he seems to be holding on to the lead, and I think we set up for a hell of a dice this morning, and everybody's there. I just hope they all stay there.
And obviously we have to watch the battle between Serge and Etienne. That's the championship battle.
Etienne's lagging a bit. He's like, I think 25 odd seconds behind Serge, so he's got it all to do this morning. And I think from Serge's point of view, he just has to finish ahead of him to make the next rally a bit safer. But, Etienne, very quick last night on the tarmac. Very exciting, beat Habig twice in a row on the same stage. So I think he's going to have a full go as well.
The first stage of day 2 would see another unique happening. Damso